everyone, welcome to another edition of PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. And in today's video, we're going to be continuing Naruto Polaris, The Fallen Star. What if Hanabi Hyuga was born first? Part 26 of the Momoshiki arc. As always, if you're new to the channel or if you're a regular and like what we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. Where we last left off, we began the tuning exams portion of the Momoshiki arc, with many thrilling battles as our final participants make their way to the final rounds of the exams. For Boruto and the members of Team 7, they're one step away from the finals, but in order to get there, each one must get through their singular opponents. For Sarada, she goes one-on-one against Yuta, son of the Fire Daimyo of the Land of Fire. For Mitsuki, he goes one-on-one against Shinki, son of the Kazekage Gaara. And for Boruto, he has an uphill battle as he must face off against someone he has never beaten before, that being his own cousin, Momo Hyuga. How will Boruto fare in his endeavors to make it to the top? For all this and more, stay tuned as we now continue. Naruto Polaris, The Fallen Star, What if Hanabi Hyuga was born first? Part 26. As always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. As the intermission continued, before the semi-finals of the Chunin exams were set to begin, the Fire Daimyo, along with his son, Yuto Madoka, and Kotasuke, former member of the Konoha Science and Ninja Tools Department, would all be sitting together in a private suite box within the Chunin exam stadium. The Fire Daimyo was not too pleased with Kotasuke. "You were the one that promised us victory, Kotasuke. That with your scientific ingenuity, we would be able to dominate the shinobi. But yet outside of my own son, the other two have proven to be nothing more but failures, who couldn't even advance to the semi-finals." "Yes, I am aware of that, my lord, but please be a little patient. After all, your son is performing adamantly. But of course, he knows what's at stake here. He is fully aware and prepared to fulfill his duties till the end. However, you, on the other hand, are on a tight leash." I'm very aware of that, my lord. Actually, you can consider the loss of the others to be nothing more but a means to an end." "A means to an end?" "Yes. I always figured that amongst the three protégés I had under my care, your son would be the best of the three. The other two were able to perform decently enough, but in the end, I knew that of the three, your son would be the one to advance. And that is why I am using the losses of the other two as a way of gaining more research. We've been improving upon the tools ever since we gotten here, and as such, we have the finished products." Kotasuke would pull out a briefcase revealing what was inside. "These tools were made especially so that your son could use them to dominate the victory. With these, Yuto will be able to claim victory in the exams easily, I guarantee it. For your sake, I hope you're right." The Fire Daimyo would look to his son. "You know what you must do. Victory is the only option. There is no other way." "Right, I understand." Yuto would leave the room along with Kotasuke. "You have nothing to worry about, young lord. I promise, with my ingenuity, you'll be, you can save those speeches for my father. I don't really need them. All I need to know is that these tools are going to work the way you say they will." "They will, but there is something I should warn you about. Even for as good as you are, these tools are still in the prototype stage. If you push yourself too far during the exams, then you might... What? I might die? Don't need to worry yourself, Doctor. My father cares about his image and reputation way more than his son. In the end, I'm nothing more but a tool for my father and his ambitions. And quite honestly, I'm fine with that. Because one day, I'm gonna be the daimyo of the Land of Fire. And I'm not gonna act the same way that my forefathers acted before me. No. I think it's time for a new age. An age without ninja. And I'm gonna be the catalyst for it. I don't care what my old man says. If anyone's getting credit for ending the era of shinobi, and it will be done by my hands, and my hands alone. In the meantime, Boruto, Sarada, and Mitsuki all sat in the locker room together. The members of Team 7 were thrilled. They had all made it to the semifinals, and now there was an opportunity for all three of them to face off against one another in the finals. An all-Team 7 showdown. It was the kind of thing you can only dream about, but even still, Boruto was happy to see that his hard work was paying off, to see that he had made it this far. Now we're one step closer, Sarada would say. Indeed, Mitsuki would add in. I think that it will be amazing for all three of us to be able to spar, and for a chance for us to see what we can really do. Yeah, I know what you mean, Boruto would say. I didn't think I could get this far in my own power, but still, it feels incredible. But before we do, we have tough opponents we have to get past. Yeah, you gotta face the son of the Kazekage, Sarada would say. And I've been seeing how he uses the iron sand. It was said that the third Kazekage was capable of doing that. It's definitely going to be dangerous, but I think I'm up for the challenge. What about you, Sarada? You have to face off against Yuto. Yeah, I'm kind of shocked he made it as far as he did. I understand that he had private shinobi tutelage, but still, who could have trained someone that wasn't from a ninja village to be so good that he could make it to the semifinals of the Chunin exams? Hey Boruto, Sarada would ask, was Yuta always this good? No, that's the thing. When we were little, he never showed much interest in being a ninja or anything like that. But even still, he's always had some good natural athleticism to him, at least from what I've been able to see. So, why don't the two of you get along? It seems like you both hate each other. It's a complicated thing. He's the son of the Fire Daimyo of the Land of Fire, and well, I'm the son of the Hokage. It was just by nature that the two of us would be, well, in close proximity. But he's always acted like he has this chip on his shoulder, like there's something he's trying to prove. I don't know what it is exactly, but it just rubs me the wrong way a lot of the time. He's arrogant. He acts like he can't do any wrong, and it's annoying. And even still, I can tell his old man's probably even worse. I've heard Dad talk about it with Mom sometimes in conversation, usually when they think I'm asleep at night. The Fire Daimyo is always riding his ass about something. About shinobi not taking enough missions, this or that, and everything else. The number of shinobi in the world has been decreasing a lot more over the last 10 years, Mitsuki would say. It's not uncommon that the 5 feudal lords of the Great Lands would start to feel a bit anxious. Even if peace is what they truly aspire to claim, it cannot be denied that it's been through war that they've been able to profit for as long as they have. And so far, the Shinobi Alliance has saw to it that no conflicts break out. Yeah, I know, but still, sometimes I kind of wonder. What? Sarada would ask. Maybe shinobi aren't needed. Huh? What are you talking about? I'm just saying. Conflict only comes from shinobi battle, right? And yet, we're supposed to be the ones that want peace. How can you want peace and be a ninja? That's like two contradicting things right there. I mean, it's just... I'm not saying that ninjas aren't important, but you can't deny that as long as ninja culture exists, there will always be the opportunity for there to be warfare, for there to be violence and things like that in the world. I mean, if there weren't any ninja, then... Boruto, we take pride in being shinobi. It's our culture. It's who we are. It's more than just violence and bloodshed. It's something else. Yeah, but still, all we've ever done is go to war with one another. From the time of the Warring States period, even up to before we were born when our parents fought in the 4th Great Ninja War. Conflict has always existed in the world, and shinobi have always been at the center of it. On one hand, while I don't agree that shinobi need to go, I think maybe we do need to change. What exactly is a ninja supposed to be? Everyone will be left in silence in the room. These were tough questions to ponder, and for now they had to stay focused on the main objective at hand. For Sarada, her match against Yuto, Mitsuki against Shinki, and for Boruto, he had to stay focused on his fight against Momo. Before long, the semifinals would begin, with the first match leading off the proceedings, Mitsuki versus Shinki. The nuances of the fight would not be lost on a select few in the audience, Jiraiya and Tsunade especially. You see, Jiraiya and Tsunade were aware of who and what Mitsuki was. Of course, when Tsunade first learned of Orochimaru's plans to clone himself, she was not too keen on the idea. After all, after everything Orochimaru had done, there were still many misgivings. However, Jiraiya was in support of this. He, to a degree, understood the intentions of Orochimaru, and they promised they would watch over to make sure that everything was on the up and up. So, just as much as Tsunade and Jiraiya were a part of the lives of Boruto and Himawari, so too were they a part of the life of Mitsuki, making sure that the boy was raised properly and with many more watchful eyes to make sure that he didn't stray on any devious path. The boy was, even while being a clone of Orochimaru, growing into his own, finding his own way in the world. Also, there were also the other nuances of the fight. Not just the titles that both boys carried, the son of Orochimaru and the son of Gaara. There was also the fact that Orochimaru was the killer of the 4th Kazekage, Gaara's father. In an odd way, almost as if it were the cosmic fate of the universe allowing it to happen, you could say that it was as if destiny had designed for these two to face off against one another. Mitsuki was able to hold his own against Shinki fine, avoiding his attacks with the Iron Saiyan and managing to strike on his own, using his lightning release as well as using his hidden snake jutsu. Of course, as the fight continued on for a bit, Shinki started to gain a bit of an advantage. Mitsuki was backed into a corner for a moment, and he was left with a choice. Would he use that power? Of course, Mitsuki knew the drawbacks of using this ability, and he was able to come to a calculated decision. Now was not the time. Before the fight could continue any further, Mitsuki would surrender, allowing for Shinki to advance to the finals. Of course, Boruto and Sarada would both be shocked by this, however, Jiraiya would nod in approval. The boy has learned the ability of restraint. What do you mean? Tsunade would ask. If Mitsuki wanted to, he could have kicked this fight up a notch. He could have used Sage Mode. What? The boy has Sage Mode? Snake Sage mode to be more specific, but even still, it's nothing to brag about at the moment. Even though he can use it, it deteriorates his body, similar to that of Orochimaru. So it's a double-edged sword. However, if he had used it briefly, I imagine it would have given him the edge he needed to win. However, he weighed the pros and cons of doing so, and instead made the choice to retreat. It shows that the boy doesn't have a sense of pride or ego, at least to the point where he would do something as self-harm himself just to win a battle of this magnitude. But still, he was able to perform well given the circumstance. I think that with a bit more training, he could definitely hold his own. I agree. I still have a lot I want to see of him. A lot indeed. Jiraiya smiled as he thought to himself, he's every bit of you, Orochimaru. Sarada and Yuta would make their way to the arena next, as their semi-final match was set to take place. As Yuta walked out of the stands and into the battling arena, something seemed a little off about him. He walked as though he were in pain, as if he were trudging through it. Were the exams starting to get to him? Lee would start the match, Sarada backing away, and Yuta standing his ground. Sarada ran through a series of hand signs before unleashing the fire-style fireball jutsu. Yuta would counter with an earth-style earth wall, blocking the fire attack. Within the smoke of the collision, Sarada would go in for a strike, only to find that Yuta was gone. You thought you could attack me in my blind spot, didn't you? I won't be taken down so easily. Sarada would be kicked out of the dust bowl and debris, as Yuta followed after. The two engaging in a series of strikes, Sarada using her kunai to block against Yuta's attacks. If you won't come to me, then I'll just move to you. Yuta would move closer to Sarada, Sarada activating her Sharingan, looking to see through his movements. However, in a blur, Yuta would move out of her line of sight, reappearing and kicking her in the side. Trying to read my movements with the Sharingan, huh? I won't let you! Yuta would charge towards Sarada once again. Sarada would summon the Uzumaki sealing chains. She could only summon 3 at the moment, but even still they would be enough, using them as a deterrent to try to bind and hold Yuta in place. Karin and Sasuke watching from the shadows of the stadium, silently cheering on their daughter as she continued her advancement. The chains would wrap around Yuto's torso, binding his arms and legs and holding him in place, Sarada landing on top of him as she drugged her kunai, pointing it towards his neck. Surrender! I have you beaten! Or so you think. Yuta would weave a series of hand signs with merely one hand, Sarada trying to figure out what was happening, before Yuta smiled as he opened his mouth, showing his tongue and the explosive note that was on it. Ninja style! Explosive clone! Sarada had no choice but to disengage and back away, being caught briefly by the explosion. Multiple Yutos went charging towards her. Sarada would do her best to duck and dodge each one, striking a few of the clones and taking them out. Shadow clones, Sarada would think. When the hell do you have time to learn ninja style? Wind Gale Palm Strike! Yuto would strike Sarada from the back with a Gale Palm, Sarada landing back on her feet just in time. Sarada would take shurikens in both hands as she started to throw them towards Yuto, using the shuriken technique, a technique of jutsu learned through that of the Uchiha clan. However, Yuto would pull out a green shuriken. After throwing it, he would wield the hand signs. Shadow Shuriken Clone Jutsu! The shurikens would now multiply, with the shurikens moving in midair, almost as if they were able to move on their own without any conscious thought, taking out Sarada's shuriken in an instant as they all went flying towards her. Sarada dodged as many of the shurikens as she could, although she would be cut a few times in the arm and in the leg. Yuto would take the time to close the distance between them, blitzing across the stadium and moving to her at blinding speeds. Even Lee would be impressed. "The boy moves really fast," Lee would say, "almost like he's using the 8 gates." The boy would quickly deliver an uppercut to Sarada before grabbing her by the leg and slamming her to the ground. Yuto was looking for a finishing strike when Sarada opened her eyes once again. Yuto's fist would smash into Sarada's face, only for her face to turn into goo. Immediately, everything around him started to fluctuate, as now multiple Saradas were now surrounding him. What is this? Ninja art. Hell viewing technique. It was a genjutsu. Yuto had to stay focused as he engaged with Sarada. The fighting would last for a bit. It almost felt like it was dragging out, only for Yuto to break free and realize that what it seemed like a few minutes had been nothing more but a few seconds. And now he was staring down the barrel of the Phoenix Flyer Jutsu, multiple fireballs flying down from the sky, Sarada looking to rain down hell itself. Earth style, Earth Dome! Yuto would lock himself within the earth, blocking away the multiple strikes of fire. Sarada would go charging down. She knew she had to finish him off. She had no idea he could be this good. Sarada would put everything she had into the next attack. If he was going to hide behind that dome, then she was going to burn it down with the Great Fireball Jutsu. However, Yuto would release himself from the dome as he weaved another series of hand signs. Fire style, Great Fireball Jutsu. Water style, Wild Water Wave Jutsu. The fire and the water would both collide at once, causing the arena to be enveloped in steam. There would be the sound of a shrilling cry, and as the smoke cleared and the dust settled, Sarada would be left on the ground, Yuto standing over her victorious. Rock Lee would call the match, and Yuto would gain the win. Boruto would rush to Sarada's side immediately as he looked towards Yuto, and Yuto looking down at him. It makes sense. It's only natural that garbage hangs with garbage. What was that? You heard me, Uzumaki. If you got a problem with me, then why don't you just say it? There's nothing left to talk about. Make it to the finals, and then we can do all the talking that you want. Although I promise, you're not gonna like it. The medics would rush to Sarada's side immediately. Karin, who had come out of the shadows, would also be there to check on her daughter. Sasuke watched on. He had his hand gripped on his blade as he deactivated his Sharingan. Thankfully, the blow was non-lethal. However, if the boy had intended to use what Sasuke thought he was going to use, then he didn't care. He was going to cut that boy's head off. And if he became a criminal in the process, then so be it. Boruto looked at Yuto. Yuto walking away and not acknowledging his presence. However, once he made it back inside of the tunnel, he would collapse to the side of the wall as he coughed into his hand, and he saw that there was blood. Damn it, Doc. I knew there were going to be drawbacks. But what the hell? The next and final semi-final match. Boruto Uzumaki versus Momo Hyuga. Boruto remained standing out in the arena as Momo joined him. You okay, cousin? Momo would say. Yeah, I'm fine. You know, I've been looking forward to this. Really? I must say, I'm impressed you've gotten this far, Boruto. Truly, you are definitely a child of wonders. Well, thanks. It means a lot coming from you. And now, I get the sweetest prize of all. I'm gonna make it to the finals, and I get to beat you to go there. It looks like our ninja's putting on his big boy headband today. Although, I should warn against the overconfidence. You've never beaten me once, and while you've definitely gotten stronger, I don't think that's gonna change today. You think so? Well, if you're so confident, why don't you come over here and show me? The match would begin. Boruto and Momo would race towards one another immediately as they engaged in a flurry of taijutsu. Momo using the gentle style fist as Boruto would counter. With everyone watching in the stands, those who were most interested in the match would be none other than the Hyuga family and Uzumaki, who would be watching on. Himawari, along with Sakamo, who had to be calmed down after watching what happened to his sister, and there was an intense moment where if you didn't really know, you could have sworn the boy's eyes might have flickered red, although thankfully he was able to get himself under control. And then, of course, there was Neji, along with his other child, Hideo, Hanabi, Hinata, all watching on together as the children did battle. It wasn't lost onto them how talented Momo was. The fact that Momo was able to hold decisive victories over Boruto time and time again was definitely more than just an understatement. Among the Hyuga, the girl was a natural-born genius. If anyone had the capabilities of being the strongest Hyuga someday, it might definitely be her. However, Boruto was still able to hold his own. Even still, with Momo using her Byakugan, she found it hard to be able to strike at Boruto's chakra nodes, even while using the gentle fist 8 trigrams 64 palms. Out of the 64 palm strikes, she only landed 15. Boruto was actually able to block all of the other strikes. It was actually pretty remarkable. As Boruto would go in for yet another closer assault, Momo would strike him in the gut, causing him to fall down and spit up in that moment. She went to deliver an axe kick to the back of the head. However, Boruto dodged at the last moment, backing away. The crowd were rearing to go and on their feet, and Naruto was watching on, heavily invested. All the other Kage could see that he was desperately cheering for his son on the inside. He really wanted to see him win. Not bad, little cousin. Yeah, same to you. What, you getting rusty? Your gentle fist ain't hitting the same no more. You've done well, but you should seriously watch what you say. If I really go all out, I'm gonna embarrass you in front of your mommy and daddy. Oh yeah? I don't think you're gonna like it too much either. The embarrassment. What kind of a comeback is that? I already know you're weak-willed with the hands. I didn't think you'd be weak-willed with the tongue either. I'm just saving it for who it really matters. Although, I gotta admit, what were you gonna do about my clones though? Clones? What clones? Oh, you didn't notice? Well, allow me to show you. Instantly, all of the rubble that was around them, the broken up tiles, the rocks, they would all transform. 12 Boruto clones. Boruto looked like he was out of breath. He had been the most winded he had ever experienced in this fight. What the? 12 clones? Shadow clones? When in the hell did he have time to make this during our match? Truthfully, these weren't shadow clones, they were just regular clones. However, Momo didn't have the time to notice the difference between the two. So, is that it, huh? You were using our fight as a distraction to keep me surrounded. You could say that. And now, you have two choices. You either surrender, or you deal with what's coming next. The Borutos would slowly begin to weave the hand signs for the lightning-style thunderclap arrow. Are you trying to get me to surrender? You could say that. Alright everybody, lightning style, lightning thunderclap arrow jutsu, times 12! While it appeared as though there were 12 lightning arrows heading towards Momo, in reality there was only one that was real, and only one that was going to hit. Momo smirked as she used rotation, blocking away the attack. As all the other Borutos would dissipate and be sent flying, Momo would stop her rotation. I knew it, you liar. You couldn't actually make all those shadow clones. They were just regular clones. Oh wow, you got me. Oh, I do now. Momo readied herself. 8 trigrams, 128 palms. Momo lunged towards Boruto. Boruto trying to block away as many of the palm strikes as he could. He didn't expect her to come all out with 128 palms, and even more so, he knew he couldn't stop them all. Out of 128, she landed 50 strikes, forcing Boruto to one knee, flying backwards as Momo finished her strikes. I think we're done here, Boruto. You put up a good fight, but you've been getting your ass handed to you each round, barely coming out a win. It was only a matter of time until I put you down, you know. I ain't done yet. Come on, Boruto. If you keep pushing it, you're gonna get real damage done to you. I said I ain't done. Alright then. But don't say I didn't warn you. Momo would lunge towards Boruto. Boruto waited for the right moment, for the right time to strike. Boruto focused as much chakra as he could into his fist. As he reared back, ready to strike her when the moment was best suited, Momo would go in for a palm strike aimed directly at Boruto's chest. Boruto connecting with the jackpot gentle fist, the fist striking against the palm, forcing the two of them to be sent flying back in opposite directions. Boruto crashing into the side wall of the arena and Momo landing on the ground. Damn it, Momo would say. That fist definitely packs a punch. Instead of using the gentle fist, he focuses its gentle fist style into an actual fist instead of a palm strike to try to counter. Was this his last-ditch effort against me? If that's the best he can muster, then he can't have anything left. As the smoke cleared from where Boruto had landed, his body was wedged into the wall. Momo had deactivated her Byakugan. She went walking towards Boruto, Lee moving in close to see if the match was over. Boruto slowly opened his eyes from the crater he had now stuck himself in, and Momo standing in front of him with a kunai pressed to his throat. You did good, Boruto. Really, you did. But now the match is over. You understand, don't you? Yeah, I guess you're right. Boruto then smiled as he poofed in the wall. Now the only thing left was the crater, and there was a hole, a deeper hole in the crater. Water style! Water stream jutsu! a high-pressure volume of water would fire through the wall, point-blank range in front of Momo, knocking her back and sending her flying all the way across the arena, knocking her back into the wall. She bounced back and lunged forward. However, as she did so, there was Boruto. Momo was in midair, with nowhere to go but down, and Boruto would land the jackpot gentle fist strike, cracking her directly in the gut. Now, the jackpot gentle fist, you could say it was an offshoot version of the gentle fist style. It was something that only Boruto could use, and he managed to strike in the jackpot. Momo fell to the ground, unable to move. And with that, Boruto would be declared the winner. "So, that was your plan," Momo would say. "Yep, it wasn't easy, but I figured out how to beat you. Your strength is that you fight on the ground. Even though you're a ninja and you're agile, the gentle fist style, your jutsu, it only works when you're standing on a solid platform. You can't really perform it while you're in the air. That's your weakness. So, you suckered me in to get close enough to you. You used a high-pressure water jutsu to send me flying into the air, and then you waited for me to come back down so you could hit me with your jackpot gentle fist. That's the gist of it. Although trying to figure out how to get you in that position was easier said than done. It was hard to get through your defenses when you had the Byakugan activated. That's why I had to create a situation where you thought you had me cornered and beaten, where you'd let your guard down. Honestly, if you had had your Byakugan activated the whole time, I wouldn't have been able to get that technique off. So I underestimated you and I lost. No, I don't think so at all. But I do agree on the losing part though. Boruto would help Momo to her feet. Momo smiled as she ruffled her cousin's head. Not bad, Boruto. Not bad at all. With the final semi-match over, the only thing left to do now was to move on to the finals. There was going to be yet another brief intermission, only 20 minutes, before the finals would begin, as high noon began to roll over the Chunin exams. The stage was now set. Shinki of the Sand, Yuto Madoka, son of the Fire Daimyo, and Boruto Uzumaki, son of the Hokage. The final three who would be left standing, and from these three, only one would gain victory. This concludes Naruto Polaris, The Fallen Star. What if Hanabi Hyuga was born first, part 26 of the Momoshiki arc. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video as we'll be continuing My Hero Academia Heroes of the Morphin Grid. What if Deku was a Power Ranger? Part 14 of the Psycho Wars. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. Signing off, and I'll see you next time.